I have no idea what NBC News and MSNBC are doing. Chuck Todd just attacked his own network, NBC News, over hiring of Ronna McDaniel. Our bosses owe you an apology for putting you in this situation, he told Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. There's a reason why there's a lot of journalists at NBC News uncomfortable with this, as they should. Ronna McDaniel, okay, so the reason why Ronna McDaniel is the former RNC chair is that basically Trump got rid of her. Trump got rid of her and put in his daughter-in-law as the RNC chair, which is just ridiculous. But they let it happen. But one of the main reasons why she's also the former RNC chair was that she was horrible at her job. In her tenure, I think she started around 2017, she lost 20 House seats, 8 governorships, and 4 Senate seats. That is a horrible record. And you got to say, well, Kevin, how did she get that job? She got that job because she is the niece of Mitt Romney. I'm sure when you go to work tomorrow, there are people that you work under or work with who are completely incompetent. But the only reason they got that job is that they're a family member of somebody. They're a friend of somebody. They're a fraternity member, a sorority member of somebody. They're a drinking buddy, a golfing buddy. But they're horrible at that job, and there's nothing you can do about it because they're connected. And Ronna McDaniel is a prime example of that. She didn't deserve to be RNC chair. And she clearly doesn't deserve to be on NBC News. Why would you put someone on, as Trump say, a loser? Why would you put someone on who is that ineffective? And she kind of supported the whole January 6th thing. And she moved hard right. See, the thing that was funny when she was on Meet the Press today, she's trying to move herself back into being a moderate. I'm like Mitt Romney is basically a moderate, and I think she was also a moderate. But when she became RNC chair, she moved hard right. So now she was talking to Kristen Welker, tries like, oh no, I didn't support that. Like, oh no, chica, no, mami, no. You can't move. You can't be hard right all these years and move back like, oh no. I was just pretending. No. You made that bed. You lie in it. You went hard right. You stay hard right. And of course, Fox News, because I said after the interview, I said, man, she should have gone to Fox News. But Fox News probably don't trust her because they know she's a moderate. She was pretending to be hard right. So I don't know what's going to happen to her. I guess she's going to be on MSNBC, but I'll get to them later. So yeah, watching that Kristen Welker interview was amazing just because it's almost like you're watching a live colonoscopy. It was horrible. Kristen Welker did a great job, which is kind of funny because since she's taken over from Meet the Press, she's been up and down. I thought she was going to be a lot better, but she hasn't been. Like the history of Meet the Press is kind of interesting. MSNBC has yet to find someone who's able to replace Tim Russert. When Tim Russert is still the gold standard for them in recent years, and then when he passed away, they put in David Gregory, I thought David Gregory was fine, but David Gregory actually is more of a Weekend Today type host. But he took over Meet the Press, and maybe the ratings were bad. I don't know. They got rid of him, and they replaced him with Chuck Todd. And Chuck Todd was basically Steve Kornacki. Steve Kornacki, if you know, is on MSNBC. He's the guy who tells you how the elections are going. He looks at the chart and all that stuff. That was Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd was Steve Kornacki. And they gave Chuck Todd that gig. And no one liked Chuck Todd. We all celebrated when Chuck Todd left. Because he's so bad at his job. So I figured, okay, there's Kristen Welker. She's paid her dues. There's a lot of colorism in networks, so Kristen Welker fits the colorism part of it. Which is just like, they would never put a guy like me on. No. But they love colorism over there. And she is a pretty good journalist, but she's been really up and down over there. But today with going after Ronna McDaniel was really good. But it comes down to when Chuck Todd says there's a lot of journalists at NBC News that's uncomfortable with this. MSNBC and NBC News have a poor job of promoting their own people. Shaq Brewster on MSNBC or NBC is a fine reporter. Blaine Alexander is a fine reporter. They have put enough time in the field where they deserve a chance to be an anchor or to be inside doing news on these networks. Why does Andrea Mitchell still have a show? Who watches Andrea Mitchell? I think Andrea Mitchell's on like at 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock. It's like, who's watching her? You don't have better people. You have better journalists you could put on than Andrea Mitchell. It kind of goes back to who's in charge. Rashida Jones is the president of MSNBC. And I'm never really sure who actually calls the shots over there. She's the president. But sometimes I feel like in some of these things, because ABC went through the same thing. Like ABC had this thing where they had this lady who was the partner with Shonda Rhimes, and they made her the president of ABC Networks. And I was like, is she really the point person or a figurehead? And I think she was a figurehead because she's long gone now. Like they got rid of her. And I think the same thing with Rashida Jones. Now Rashida Jones is not Quincy Jones' daughter. She's not the Rashida Jones that was on Parks and Rec. It's a different Rashida Jones. I always wonder, like, is she really calling the shots over there? Because if she is calling the shots, she's done a poor job. Like, no one was asking to put Simone Sanders on TV and give her a show. I already gave you, like, names like Blaine Alexander and Shaq Brewster. And there's Trymaine Lee. Trymaine Lee is a fine reporter. You know, they should give Trymaine Lee weekly, like, monthly specials all the time because he's excellent. But no one's checking for Simone Sanders. I mean, if you want her to be a loudmouth that analyze politics, fine. But who's asking they're giving her a show? Nobody, and her ratings are horrible. I don't quite get it. And also under Rashida Jones, Rachel Maddow went from being on 4 or 5 days a week to being 1 day a week. That's crazy. Like Rachel Maddow is your crown jewel. How do you let that happen? Now again, with Rachel, like she almost lost her partner during COVID. So I mean, I think Rachel then said, "Hey, there's priorities. Like I want to spend more time with my partner." She said, "Well, why am I doing this new stuff? It's okay, but I want to spend time with my partner," which I totally understand. And Rachel still does election stuff, so she's there. She's their main person when they does election stuff. But man, going from 4 or 5 days to 1 is harsh. She should say, please, at least give us Tuesday and Thursday. We'll take care of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At least give us 2 days a week. Because she's their star person. And over the NBC, that's what I wanted to talk about. NBC got this thing where they're still trying to court over Fox News people. And Fox News people do not leave Fox News. Go back to Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly left Fox News, and she became the anchor of the Today Show at 9 o'clock. And that's when it was Al Roker, Tamron Hall, and Harry Connick Jr., which was a good crew. I like the Craig Melvin crew better, but that was a good crew, and they got rid of all of them for Megyn Kelly. And I thought, well, Megyn Kelly's a star. We'll bring her over, and we'll bring over those Fox News people. No. Fox News people, if they leave Fox News, they go into Newsmax or something more conservative. They are not going over to MSNBC or NBC because that's the enemy. They're not doing it. So Megyn Kelly, so if you didn't attract them, the people who are MSNBC people, they didn't trust Megyn Kelly, and her ratings were horrible, and they had a buyout. But Megyn Kelly now is doing great on YouTube. Her YouTube channel is making so much money because the people who liked her on Fox News, they'll follow her to YouTube. They wouldn't go follow her to NBC, but they'll follow her to YouTube. I really think that MSNBC and NBC News need to clean house because they clearly don't know who they want. Once upon a time when Keith Olbermann was with MSNBC, it was clearly the liberal. Well, Fox was conservative, they were liberal. And over the years, MSNBC was trying to make themselves more moderate. And they got Morning Joe and Nicole Wallace because people forget Nicole Wallace was under the George W. Bush administration. People seem to forget about that sometimes. So they got some conservatives over there. But there's so many great journalists. There's so many really good journalists who deserve these jobs. It's too much personality driven. Like when I was a kid, I admired Bernard Shaw on CNN. He was an excellent broadcaster because he set like a standard of what journalism is. And when I look at journalism today on these networks, especially like MSNBC and NBC News, like Lester Holt is fine. But instead of following the pattern of Lester Holt, they want to go Ronna McDaniel. And that is a losing proposition.